Hello there. Hi. Welcome in. Welcome back. Welcome to this, the 23rd of December, 2025. I do apologize for being late. I was getting some stuff set up and took a little bit longer than I anticipated, but we are back. We're going to finish up Dreamcore, which I don't think will take all stream, and then we'll probably check out at least one other game, if not a couple other games. We did get the first part of Dreamcore up on YouTube. If you aren't here for the Twitch stream of that, it is up on YouTube as a video, and it does have a playlist. This stream will be up in that playlist for that afterwards, so you'll be able to see that up on the channel. But yeah. So we're going to continue this. We got one more area to do. We have the Playrooms in Dreamcore to do, and then we're going to be probably checking out some other games. I've got one game planned. I don't know how long it'll take, and if we have time, we might jump in and do another short indie game. But we're going to be focusing on some horror games here in our evening streams as we head into the into Christmas. I know that sounds really weird, but we are still a horror focused channel, horror and retro horror focused channel. Which it's funny, like, we've played a lot of games this year, and I was going back through and looking, like, all the games that we've played, and we're still predominantly played horror games, or horror-adjacent games, because I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, man, have we played a lot of horror this year? It just doesn't feel like it. And I went back, because I look at Twitch Tracker to kind of see how we're doing and stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, like, 80 plus, like 80 or 90% of our stuff has been like horror adjacent stuff. So I'm like, yeah, we played a lot of horror this year. It's just interesting because, like, this year is like the lowest amount of like Steam games I think I've ever played, and I was like, man, why have I played so few games this year? And then I realized it's like because we've been playing a lot of like retro games this year, which was my goal. I mentioned at the beginning of this year that I really wanted to lock in and focus on retro games, which will still be a focus next year as well. And we have played a lot of retro games. We've done the Fatal Frame series, we've done the Resident Evil series, we've done, we did, I think, I'm trying to think. Of course, we played some Silent Hill. We did some Silent Hill F when it came out. I don't know if we did any Silent Hill series. Actually, you know what? Let's just do a little overview. Actually, we might revisit this at the end of the year, but I want to kind of see, like, what are the main things that we did this year? Because I was looking through, and like I said, I was just so surprised. Yeah, so our top one was retro. Our top stream was retro. And under retro, let's see. What did we play retro wise? I'm gonna open up all of these. We did, how many retro streams was this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We did 10 retro streams this year. The first one, or one of them, was Chrono Cross. Another one was Ghost of Tsushima by accident. So that wasn't really. Another one was Dark Cloud. Another one was Dark Cloud. Blood Rain, which we did for Terrortober. Nightmare Creatures 2. Nightmare Creatures 1, The Ring, Terror's Realm, The Ring, Terror's Realm, and Folklore. So those were the retro streams we did. Let's see. We also did Elden Ring, Genshin Impact, games and demos. Let's see what was under games and demos. We did 1, 2, 3. Oh, there's multiple pages. Hold on. Let me go back. I was going to say, I think we did more retro streams than that. I feel like we had to, right? Oh, we did 60 retro streams, it looks like. Or almost 60 retro streams. Yeah, that makes more sense. I was like, there's no way we only did 10 retro streams. Alright, let's see. So let's pull up all these retro streams and see. Because I think we spent predominantly most of the year in the retro category. And we played quite a bit. Okay, hold on a second. We have to go back. Alright, so we had a stream of Folklore. Folklore. Another Chrono Cross. Dark Cloud. Dark Cloud. Rayman 2. Alice. We did play Alice this year, both American McGee's and Alice Madness Returns. Let's see, this is June 24th. What was before June 24th? June 27th, okay. Alpha Centauri. There's American McGee's Alice. Of course, Countdown Vampires we played this year. Oh, yeah. My birthday, we played Crab by the Ghoulies, start to finish. That was a birthday present that I gave myself, all right. Let's see. Then we did with Nostalgia Ray Train. I didn't actually put what we were playing that day, interestingly enough, but we played Sim Theme Park on the PS1. We did Rule of Rose this year. I forgot we did Rule of Rose this year. Which, by the way, those are up on YouTube. I did make a comment about that. Those are up on YouTube. We did Vampire Hunter D this year, which was interesting. That's a survival horror game that I feel like people don't know about. Yeah, Vampire Hunter D. What day was that? That's the 28th. Let's see. The 11th was Rule of Rose. Let's see, the 4th. More Rule of Rose. Okay. Alright, let's see. What else do we do? January, we did a lot of retro. What did we do in January? Kuon. We did Kuon in January of this year? Wow, it feels like we did that way, like, I thought that we did that a while back. We did Clock Tower, of course, back in January, which, that series we need to do stuff for. We did some, for our 4-year anniversary, 4-year affiliate anniversary. Apparently we watched some old videos. Oh, we started Kuon for our affiliate anniversary. I forgot about that. We also leveled up, or we did some PoE, it looks like. PoE 2. which our affiliate anniversary 5 years is going to be up in January, believe it or not. So that was the 19th. So yeah, so we did quite a few retro horror this year. January. Sorry. Trying to today. Okay, games. Let's see, and then we also did Tainted Grail. We played a lot of, which we will be going back to with the expansion, Path of Exile 2. Wu-Jang, I would actually say, has a lot of horror stuff in it, actually, surprisingly. Liza P had the expansion this year. Hell is Us we played. Let's check out games and demos. I always like checking that out to see what we played. Not a whole lot. Looks like most of it was in October. So let's see. We played Paranormal HK. We played Phobia. That was a time. We played Rabbit Hole, it looks like. And then God's Basement and Nightmare Zapping. That was our games and demos. We played, here we go. We played Alice Madness Returns, Chronos, Resident Evil, Ender Magnolia, Crime Scene Cleaners, kind of horror adjacent, Fatal... Okay, yeah, Fatal Frame we did play this year. I was like, I thought we played Fatal Frame this year. We did. We played... Really? We played Silent Hill Downpour? Okay, so we did play Silent Hill. I was like, I thought we played a Silent Hill this year. We did, but I think we finished up Downpour in January, which leads me to believe that we might have played one other one, because if we did Downpour in January, that means we would have done Homecoming in January as well. We did the Amnesia series. As well this year. We did Silent Hill Short Message, which I'm glad I finally got to do. But yeah, if you go back and look, like, most of the games that we played this year were horror, and it's weird because, like, I felt like we didn't play this much horror, but, like, I would say there's, like, let me count how many things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I'm being a little hard on myself, but 19, 20, 21, 22. Essentially, like, 22 of the 85 things that we played this year. And that's being harsh on myself. Some of them you could argue are horror adjacent, were not horror, right? So, percentage 22 of 85. 18%. So, 18.7%. So you can round it up to about 19% of the games that we didn't play. So that means, what is that? 81% of the things we played this year. And that's being rough on myself. There's a couple of them you could argue were horror adjacent. Were horror. And I did not feel like we played that. Oh, I take that back. There's probably another one in there. So let's say 20%. Let's say 20% of the things we played this year were not horror. I did not feel like we played that much horror this year. But I guess we did. Like, my focus was so much on retro that, like, I didn't realize we played so much horror. But I mean, again, we are horror, retro, and variety. That is the focus of the channel. But I just didn't realize that. Like I said, I was going through that the other day, and I was just like, how much did we actually play? And we didn't really play a lot this year. Like I think this has been one of the slowest years we've had since I've been streaming. Um, for like the amount of games that we've played. Um, which is interesting. Um, I'm very curious as to why that is. I think it might have just been because like a lot of medical stuff is kind of like really over the past year has reared its ugly head. I've missed a lot of days in comparison, which I say missed as if like this is this is like a job which I'm graded on or something, but overall, like I think I've taken a lot more days off, which arguably I think has made the streams better, in my opinion. I don't know, I can't really grade myself on that, but I think it's made for a better quality stream over the year. But we have done like less content, at least according to the numbers that I can see. Because like I guess I could go back to that and actually check that. That's the like I said, I don't use that as like a stick to like beat myself over the head with or anything. It's just a good way to like keep track of like numbers and stuff like that. But I can actually use this to 2024. All right, so let's see, how many games did we play in 2024? Okay, we played 86 in 2024. So actually, no, we did the same amount of games. Yeah, no. We're on path to do potentially more games this year. Actually, there's another thing we have to check. Because it depends on how many games we did in retro, which actually I think we might have done more games. Oh yeah, we only had 4 or 5 retro streams in 2024. Let's see games and demos though. Yeah, games and demos, we only had 3 streams. So actually this year, okay, no, we did do Fatal Frame in 2024. We started Fatal Frame in 2024. We didn't do all of them, and we did Silent Hill in 2024. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, so we just did Downpour this year. So actually, based on the numbers, we've done more content, considerably more content this year, because we only done, let's see, 86 games, but we have to add, where's retro? Let's see. Assuming that this is... Let's see. We did a roulette. That's Evergrace, day 3, day 1, Shadow Tower. So... looks like we did Shadow Tower and Evergrace. So that would be yeah, I would say we've actually done loads more content this year. So we've actually done a lot of content in comparison. That's interesting. I'm actually glad I looked at that. I'm actually really glad I looked at that, because I felt like we were really far behind this year in comparison to last year because of the Steam stuff. But no, we've actually created considerably more content this year. So, alright, well, that's good to know. I know maybe I'm the only one that cares about that stuff, but I think that's enough of that. I apologize to anybody that doesn't care about that stuff here at the beginning of the stream. But anyways, all that to say that I intend to keep making all of this horror stuff. If you like horror stuff, we're gonna keep doing horror stuff constantly. And I have shelves of retro horror that we are going to be working our way through next year. We will still be checking out modern horror stuff. I still want to see if we can find some cool stuff. In fact, we're going to be checking out some of that stuff very, very soon. I've got some stuff planned for the new year that should be pretty cool. There's some titles that people have asked about that we're going to be checking out. We've got titles that we've been gifted and stuff like that we're going to be checking out. But we're also going to be checking out some classics that we've been asked about and stuff like that. So, all that being said, let's get into the Playrooms and finish up Dreamcore. Let me turn off the music. But yeah, it's actually really interesting. Can I not hear anything? Can't hear anything. Can you guys hear anything? I guess not. Dreamcore's got audio. Hold on. There we go. Playrooms. I fix it. Being lost is the least of your problems. Patience and observation are key. Alright, let's get into it. But yeah, I can't believe, like... Because, like, I was just... I was so concerned that, like, our content might have been, like, lacking in certain degrees, or we hadn't been keeping true to, like, what I wanted to do this year. I don't know, man. I get really in my head about stuff, especially at the end of the year. There's a lot of self-reflection I do, and that's a ball. Oh, it's our slides. The pastel room. Okay, so we're looking for buttons, colored buttons. So it looks like we need a blue, green, yellow, red button. Good to know. The sky room. Okay. Can't interact with that. Nice low-res texture there. But yeah, I get into my head at the end of the year, and I was just like, am I doing what I said I should do this year? Am I doing what I set out to do? And look, now that I've, done the comparison, looked at the numbers, I think we've actually done a really good job. We've created more content this year. We focused on retro content, which is what I wanted to focus on. We've been really active in communities. Well, that's interesting. Okay. Obviously we've been accepted to a stream team. We've been, we worked with them with charity stuff, which of course we're going to keep doing. Although I will say we'll have to think of some fun incentives for the next charity drive. I wanted to be a part of the Starlight thing this December. It's just this December has been kind of rough for me for a lot of reasons, both personal and just health reasons. So I didn't really have time to both meet the deadline, but also the energy to. But we will be taking part in some. Okay, this arrow is pointing here. In some charity drives next year. Stop. Also, I hope to be. I'm gonna try to keep the streak alive with the raid trains, but obviously we've got a lot of people gonna want to be a part of the raid trains next year. I want to keep showing off some obscure horror games, and we still got some to show off. I've got one. Okay, so that shows us the way out. Got it. I've got one hidden in the pocket for next year, as it were. Okay, so we can't go in here until we light the green light. So for the next raid train, I think I have a game picked out that I think people will be like, "What is this?" It's another PS1 survival horror game that people don't know about. Hey, Boyd, how you doing? How'd your stream go, by the way? I saw you streaming, or the start of that Hello Kitty Island adventure. How's that going? Did you make a horse? I know people were telling you to make a horse. I didn't see what you were making. I had to get some stuff ready for stream when you were making your character, and then it took me way too long. Hey, smiley face. Took me way too long to get stuff ready for stream, but if you're not already, go follow our friend Void, who, another thing at the beginning of the new year, next year we're going to be focusing on collaborations. We will actually be collabing with Void and the Leave Ending and a friend of the community, Inquisition, and playing the Division 2 from the start, including the DLC. So if you want to see us play the Division 2, that will be... We haven't marked out a day just yet, but sometime starting next year we'll be doing a 3-player or 4-player co-op collaboration of the Division. Like I said, it'll be 4 players, but 3 of us will be streaming, so... Even when I played ESO, still enjoyed it, but it was kind of slow. Oh yeah, ESO starts really, really slow. Once you get to about midway, it starts to speed up a little bit once you actually get your character and build going. Couldn't figure out what the character was, but I said it's a horse. Okay, fair enough. How did Leave feel about ESO? I didn't think ESO would be Leave's cup of tea, but you know, might surprise me. He was just tired. I understand that. Yeah, I understand that. We didn't do much together. We had to get through initial trainings. Yeah, the like, this is where everything is. Have you pushed this button? Alright, we got a key. A green key, that's probably to the sky room, which was locked. Did you pick a mage? He usually goes mage. Did he go mage? Oh, we've got a blue key. Okay. At least he says he usually goes mage. Figure he went something ranged. What class did you pick? A Breton. Ah. Dark Elf. Ooh, polka dots. We found polka dots. Okay, so we got 2 keys. I think we need a total of 4. Well, that looks fun. And also like a literal death trap. We're definitely going in there. gonna guess it's this way. Okay. Maybe? It's not giving me... Oh boy. There it is, real dark. Hi, friend. Beep beep. Okay. So we're probably going to have to start using some landmarks. Okay. Maze room. We have the green key. Does that mean we can go through here? It does. Alright. So we have the green key, means we can use the green door. Welcome to the maze room. Did you get lost a lot when you were a child? In mazes? No. These? No, because I always used the windows to figure out where I was. Which I think was the whole point of the windows. Interesting, that's just a dead end. Oh, this is fun. Okay. Alright. So I see that floor. Can I stand up? I am standing up, okay. Okay. Well, that wasn't too bad, but I don't think that's where we need to go. I think we need to go there. Right, so there's a tunnel over there, or is that where we came from? I don't think that's where we came from. I don't remember it being yellow. No, it's definitely not where we came from. Okay. Let's stay topside, just so we can get a kind of an overview of where we need to be going. Alright, see... Okay, so it looks like there's some sub-areas on the ground level. We need to figure out how those connect. Right, because, like, we can go here. My guess is these are exits, right? Like, these just take us out of the maze rooms, and these take us probably back into other parts of other mazes, yeah. So my guess is that gets the green one. That was either well, I just have to say that's extremely lucky guess on my part. Like, I did not know to go out that door to get to that generator. So now I have to find a way out of the maze room, I guess. Okay, seems like a dead end. Well, that's a no-go. I'm gonna guess we need to go through here. Up over here. Alright, I see a door here. Alright, looks like we are out. I'm guessing that's one of the 4 buttons we have to push. So we do have a blue key, which I'm guessing is to the sky room. But we have to figure out how to get out of this back area first. Well, heading into darkness is usually a good sign, I guess. This just leads us back to where we were. Can we go back in through here? We can. Does this mean it's not an exit? Is that what that indicates? Because this looks like there's no way out of here. It looks like it just wraps around. Right? So, like, that goes that way. And if we were to go this way, this wraps this way, right? So there's no other exits. Because that's just going to wrap back around to that green door. Right? So, unless there's something in this darkness that I can't see. And we don't have a flashlight, so... So maybe this door just means that it's not a correct exit. This. So not an exit, maybe. Okay, well, if that's the case, it means we need to find another gem to climb and find another way out. No, that was the right way, right? That goes up. That goes down. That goes down. I need to go down here. Yeah. I was like, I know this is the right way. I just went down that one instead of this one. Okay, so that one's not an exit. That's a dead end. Okay. So, let's go this way then. Okay, this is where we came from. We have the tree. Oh, that's dark. Ah, so there was something here. That's interesting. So there is something there. We just can't see it from this side. Got it. Okay. What about this jungle gym? Wait, no, this is the one we literally just climbed on. Isn't it? No. No. I don't think so. Doesn't look like it. It looks similar, but... No, because we didn't have a double ramp like this. Oh, maybe it is. No, because that door would have had a... no exit if it was the same door. Nope, this is definitely a different one. Okay, now we're in a multicolored one with one of those street play mat floors. This one looks a little bit more complicated. Ah, they don't have windows. Inconvenient. Oh, I wonder if it's going to let us go this direction. Okay, there's a path this way. Can we go up the slides? We can go up slides. Okay, good to know. So there's some down slides there. Trying to see if there's any... Okay, we can get... There's exits... Okay, I see one exit onto the mat. Okay, looks like there's another one possibly... Nope, that's... Okay, I see one exit onto the mat. At least it looks like it is from there. So it would be on this side. But we need to find our way down. Not sure if we need to get to the central mat. Not sure if that's actually a goal. Right now we're as high as we can be. Okay. That curves that way. I'm gonna go back this way. Trying to stay in this quadrant over here. See if I can make my way down. Not looking like it. Not seeing any path down from here. Again, I'm not sure if we've already achieved our goal. Okay, so that's where we went up in the first place. I'm not sure if we already achieved the goal by turning on the generator or if there's another goal in the maze. Okay, I see some slides over there we could potentially use to go down. There's slides right there, okay. So now we can go here. That takes us down a level. Things are going to get harder as we go down because more of the geometry is darker or blocked off. As you can see. Alright. Follow the wall and look for slides down. Okay, we got a dead end here. Okay, there's slides right there. Which is good, because that puts us here. Now I'm going to circle... Ah, perfect. I want to circle back that way. Okay, we're almost to ground level, which is good, because if we can find a set of slides over there, that'll put us at ground level on the quadrant where we know the entrance is. Because the entrance to the center is over there. And it looks like there might just be a singular path, because this is not branching in any regard. Yep. Okay. So this puts us here. Okay, so this was not... I thought this was the entrance. That is the entrance. So where does this get us to? There must have been a reason for this, right? Strange. Seems like it just takes us back up. So was there something on the mat I needed to interact with, maybe? I didn't see anything. Like, you would think getting to the center area would have done something, but there's nothing here. Is there, like, a key? This is as far as I can look down, by the way. I can't look straight down. I can look straight up, though. Interesting. So we can get down here, but it doesn't seem like that accomplishes anything. I would think you'd pick up like a key or something, but can't interact with any of the balls. Yeah, I guess there's just nothing down here. Okie dokie. Yeah, so we can go up here. There's a slide there. Excuse me. Like, this isn't the problem of being lost, it's just the problem of not having a clear indication on where I'm supposed to go. Because we went to the center, which is not the solution to the maze, and I can't see an exit on the outside. Okay. I guess we could go over there. Like where that arch is. Or at least attempt to. That's the only other place we have to check. Because if it's not the middle and it's not where we came from. Okay. So it looks like we have to go this way. This way. This is back the way we came, so... There's the slides up. Okay. Let's take a look over here. So we can drop down there. Right. Let's go in here. See, I don't see an exit down there either. And I'm not seeing anything on the sides here, so it's just like I don't know where this exit would be except where we came from. Because what I'm thinking is we were supposed to enter this from somewhere else, because this place, where we came into this place, exits to where the generator was, right? So my thing is, I think we were supposed to solve this jungle gym to get to the generator. We just took a different route to it. See, there's a door down there. Is that where we're supposed to go? Maybe that's it. I just saw... Okay, there's doors in the archways. Then, see, now we have a location to end up. So we do need to get to the ground floor, but we need to get to the ground floor on the outside. Okay. That answers that question. Wait, I just saw another set of slides. Where did I see them? Okay, I saw those. Oh. No? How do we even get to that door? Okay, looks like we have to get not to the bottom, but to the second layer? That changes things a bit. Okay, that's just a square. Okay. Alright, the next slides are here. So it seems like it's always these slides. And then this will take us to this layer. And we need to get from this layer to the outside walls on the other side. So from here, we don't need to take any slides down. So I think the way to the center is like a red herring, essentially. So like that path is not where we need to go. I don't think there's any other branches, is there? Nope. No, so we have to go this way. Okay, so you have to go through the center. See, you can see, like, this path, right? But see, we need to be here. See that one right there? Like that's that slide. I think we need to take these slides, get over there, and then come back down, maybe? So, like, get on this level, find a way to the slides we saw over here. See, they're on a level below us, though. Don't want to go back up. Okay, where were the slides that took us to this level? They were like right over here somewhere. Here they are. Okay, so we need to be on this level and find a way to the slides over here to go back down here to take the doors out of this way. Now from here, can we go... Oh, this is new, yeah. And we can take these out. Okay, so that gets us out of this maze. At least takes us out of this door. Which takes us to the green maze. Okay. Okay, there were multiple exits out of that multi-maze. Okay, looks like our exit's over there, so... There we go. There we go. I think we've officially made it out of Maze Land. What does that say? Castle room? I don't know if we have that key. We don't have the yellow key, I don't think. We don't. Okay. So we're still looking for the yellow key. We do have the blue key, so we can go to the sky room. we could ever find that. Of course. Okay, so this is where this other exit led. So there was another path. So I wish they would have just given you the keys at the start. Having to find the keys and then find, like, the rooms and then go through the rooms is a bit tedious. Because it's like, now I have to backtrack through the entire maze area to figure out how to get back to the beginning to get to the sky room. I think it'll probably be easier to get to the top of this than it would be that other maze, to get through that other maze. So I'm going to try to get out through here. Because I believe this is potentially, like, just a... Is that just a circular? Yeah. That's down. I can't go that way. Seems like there is some music, but it's very light. Okay. Where does this put us? Puts us in the blue jungle gym. Okay, so green connects to blue. Okay, this takes us back to the pastel room. Okay, nice. Alright, so blue jungle gym room is... That's good. Okay, maze room has the green light. Perfect. So now we gotta find the sky room. We also still need to find the other keys. We're looking for 2 more keys. And once we go into the sky room, we're going to be looking for a blue generator. Do these actually interact when you hit them? No. Okay, no physics on the balls. Got it. Okay, I'm just looking for tables that might have keys on them. Well, that's an abyss. Thank you for that. Any tables in there? See one. Okay. Aha. There's the yellow key. Have to backtrack to go get to that other door. Oh, spiral staircase. That seems helpful. Okay. So we need one more key. Is there a gamma option? Graphics. Does not look like it, unfortunately. Okay, this is where we found one of the keys. This is where we found the other key. Give me just a second. To set something up real quick. Alright. Alright. Let's see. So we're still looking for one key and the sky room. Okay. Okay, we didn't go this way before. We went the other way. What does this lead to? Okay, we see some tables. That's potentially a good sign. Alright, that must be one of the other rooms. So, we still haven't found the entrance to whatever the purple room is, and we still haven't found the key for it either. There's a bunch of smiley faces in there, so I'm gonna go check that room. Smiley faces are usually a good indicator of something, so... Okay, no keys on either one of those. But the smiley faces lead us to a Lego room. Okay. Okay. Don't see a key on any of those chairs or on the table. I wonder if you have to go through the maze room to find the other rooms. Could have swore we found the sky room without it, but not the other ones. Oh, that would have been a perfect place to find the key. Right on one of those chairs or that table or something, but no dice. No dice. Toys room? Okay, that seems to be the purple. Is it the purple door? Or red? Oh, it's red. I didn't even think. So, okay. Hmm. So we've definitely been here. Okay, going down's a good sign. I wonder if the balls are supposed to be an indicator of, like, the correct direction. Right, like, they seem to be leading us somewhere useful. Like these ball pits. Like, the arrows lead us back to the entrance, we know that. Okay, stop sign. That's the maze room. We don't need the maze room. I mean, technically we could go... Actually, let's do this. Since we know where we need to go in here, let's do this. Blue leads to green, which leads to the yellow door. So from here, we go through here. And from the blue, we need to go to the green. Okay, that was a circle. Good job, me. Okay, so that... How did we get to this? Okay, we need to find the green area from here, which I think is through this tube. So go through tube, and then go through tube. This should take us to the green area, which we can't see which way this tube turns. There we go. Yeah, this takes us to the green, and then when you get to the bottom of the green... through the barricades, through there, that's where we need to get, and that'll take us to the yellow door. And that's done by going this way. Okay. Now that we have the yellow key, we can do this, and then if we're lucky, the yellow might lead to one of the other doors. Hopefully the blue. That'll help us knock out the yellow and the blue, and then we just gotta find, I guess, the red? No, the green, yellow, blue, red, yeah. So now we can go through this door because we found the yellow key. Of course, we don't know what's in store with the castle room, so we find out. Okay. Well, it's a pretty castle. Can we go through here? We can't. Okay, there's a door there. Okay, so we're going to be looking for a generator in here somewhere. I don't know if we need to check these tables for a key or not. Okay, there's a door there and a door here. Okay, that's what I thought. Circle back. Alright, so let's head as far as we can. Okay, so if this is our entrance, our exit is probably that way, if I had to take a guess. It's either that way or that way. I'm going to make the assumption it's in the back left corner. This floor gives me an idea that it might be. That's our generator, though. Okay, so that's 2 generators down. And we got a door there. Okay, we've got a blue castle. Trying to pay attention to the walls to see if I see any other doors. Let's check the interior of this blue castle. I don't see any doors in here, but sneaky. We got balloons. Oh. Anything behind the curtain? Can't interact with the curtain. Got it. I'm gonna see if there's any keys. Getting very dark and we do not have a flashlight. So we need to go this way. There's a door there. However, wondering if there's not a door here. Okay, so my hypothesis about it being the back left was wrong, so that means it must be the back right. And we do have to go through the purple castle to find it. So, let's go to the purple castle. Shall we? Oh, interesting. Okay, not that door. Well, maybe that door, actually. No, I didn't think so. I was gonna say that door should have been here, so we need something that's further that way. This door should be internal purple. And there we go. What room is this? The sky room. Perfect. So the yellow did lead to the blue. Which is exactly what we needed it to do. So now all we have to do is find the red key. Wow, interesting. The achievement said, "Are you good enough to go to heaven?" Yikes. Probably not. Probably not. looking for a generator. That is a chair. A couple chairs and a table. Little interview with God, I guess. Okay, that flag again. Okay, I think we went in a circle. Oh, that's interesting. I thought we came from this direction. We did. It's just you can't see. Oh, this has a Playrooms feel to it. Here's the elevator. So the elevator's down there. So the elevator's in the sky room. Oh no, I guess it would be through that gate that we have to open. That would make the most sense. Oh, this looks... This is an interesting looking hallway. I like the scuffs on the floor. What in the weird cheese blocks? Oh, there's our generator. Oop. Alright, all we need is red key, red door, then we can get the red generator, and then we are done with the playrooms. But that is easier said than done. It does seem like all the keys are in the pastel room though. So there's probably some room that we missed in the pastel area that had the red key. Smiley faces. Okay, I think we just went in a giant circle. We did, okay. We did indeed go into a giant circle. This is new. Ah. And there's the room to the pastel room. Can we climb up this? We can't. Can we climb up this? We can't. Boo. Okay, so we could have come here for the sky room. We don't need to do this anymore. We need to go into the pastel room. We need to find the red key and the red door. So let's go back. Say, yeah, we need the red key and the red door. So assuming that these each lead somewhere useful. This is the red door. Okay, so from the entrance, the first right is the red door. Now we just have to find the red key. That's going to be the fun part. Okay, I definitely remember this. Stairs. I don't remember this room. Stairs over there. I don't remember this room either. Okay. Let's see if we can find a table. I don't remember crouching through a hole or some stairs. Again, all we're looking for is a table with a key on it. Once we find that, we can head back to the exit. Okay, I do remember this guy. Alright, so from this guy, or use that guy as a landmark. I'm just gonna peek into two adjacent rooms and then head back. Just to see if we see a table. No, okay. one he's looking at, we checked. I think the way we came from... the stairs? Okay, that's the maze room. Okay, so that's definitely not where we want to be. The maze room was interesting because we actually solved the maze room really quickly. We got lost doing something we didn't need to do. We could have left the maze room way earlier. I just thought there was more to it than where we were. Okay. There's a table here. Is there a key on it? There is not. Okay. Are the rooms changing? Okay. This is where I wanted to get back to anyways, because there was another set of stairs here that I don't remember going up. I don't remember dark stairs in a dark room. I certainly don't remember a long, ominous hallway like this. Okay, this is seeing the maze room from above. I do remember that. Okay. So maybe I remember going at it from this angle. See, the problem is if there's like a table in a dark room that we're missing that has the key, that's messed up. So far they've been pretty good about not doing that kind of thing, but I wouldn't put it past them to make like this room particularly difficult. Oh, what the hell? Oh, I think I know what happened. Yeah. So what's happening there is I think we're clipping through the roof as we reach the top of that. Interesting. Okay, I definitely don't remember a red hallway like that. Maybe we can find our key in this red hallway too. Okay. Okay, we got green stairs. Arrows, huh? Definitely don't remember this either. Okay, these arrows are very unhelpful. But I don't remember this area at all, so... I remember a spiral staircase. I don't remember the egg-shaped doors. Okay, this is polka dots again. No, it's definitely not in the polka dots area, because I'm pretty sure we cleared out the polka dots area. So let's not do polka dots. Okay, from square, we'll go left. Definitely have not been in this room. I swear to God, if there's a key on one of these tables. I do not see a key on any of these tables. By the way, the modeling these tables is really rough. So what's happening here, a little bit of game development for you, is if you make bad corners, which is why these look so mangled, it causes these render errors because it's rendering an edge that's like going like here. This is what happens when you make bad corners. If you're trying to... So basically what happens, they try to bevel an edge, and it it didn't work. Yeah. There's a really easy way to bevel edges. This is one of the things that we teach when we're teaching this, is how to create what's called an edge loop. And what it does is it makes the flow of polygons go around an edge like this, instead of going like this as a box would, because usually you start with a box for a shape like this. You can do this with planes. Usually it ends up with being a higher poly, which is not what you need for something like this, because it's not what you call a hero object. But the reason why it gets like this is because the edge flow is cut like this for a box, so it thinks the edges need to wrap like this around a corner, essentially. But if you make an edge flow that goes like this around the curve, and then underneath does the same thing, so it's like a U shape, so it goes like this instead of like this, it keeps this from happening. It's actually a really easy fix, but because a lot of people that teach modeling, or basic modeling, sometimes skip over that. They'll just be like, oh, just put a line there and turn it into a triangle. You get stuff that looks like this. Or people that teach themselves don't know about edge flow, so they'll do stuff like that. And then that's how you get these mangled looking corners in your assets. So anyways, a little game design there for you. But that's what creates those rendered, like, weird shadows and stuff on objects, because when that edge goes across, it's not actually flush with the side of the object, it's protruding a little bit, so you get a weird shadow. I can actually show you in the 3D program what creates that, and I can show you how to fix it, too. It's not really that difficult of a fix, but it's one of those basic kind of things that once you learn it, you never really make the mistake again. But if you don't learn it, you'll basically make the mistake every single time, so... And that's part of the reason why instruction is so important. Not that I think people need, you know, formal education when it comes to artistic endeavors. But I do think that some level of instruction, whether that's through, you know, a professional or videos or just research on your own, is helpful. Because you can actually see, like, here, like, these edges right here. This is what a box does normally, right? And as you can see, like, because it doesn't have to flow at a curve, you can just get these sharp edges. But as you saw with that table, because it had to curve, it wants to consistently do this kind of edge, this sharp edge. And when you try to curve that, obviously you get that, like, mangled crease. That's what I'm talking about. Just trying to see if we can find something else that does something. That's actually... it's funny. So, like, this... The way this is done is actually, not too bad, but probably a bit higher poly than you need for this asset. When you talk about asset creation, you have certain levels of assets that are, like, background assets, and you have, like, secondary assets, tertiary assets, and then you have what you call hero assets. Hero assets are usually the things that you spend the most amount of triangles or polygons on, because those are the things that are going to be, like, closest to the camera, or things that are going to be seen most often. So that'll be, like, your characters, or, like, your intricate statues that, like, people will be able to examine and stuff like that. So for things like door frames or bars, or we're back in the polka dots again, like stuff like this, like you're not going to have a whole lot of polygons in those, because they're not hero assets. But man, I cannot find this red key. This might be the first one we have to look up, assuming that these things aren't randomly generated. I cannot for the life of me find this last key. Because we know where the door is. We can confidently find the door. We just got to find the key. But yeah, so when you're doing environments, when you're doing games and stuff, you have to find the balance with this. These railings are actually pretty well done, in all honesty. Railings are one of the things you can use to test environmental artists to see how many... Like, I would argue there's probably a little bit too much polygons in these railings, given how fast the player is moving past them. Because, like, this is a very smooth curve. You probably don't need this many polygons for this much of a curve. For this, like, most of them should probably look like this. You see how this has this, like, really sharp line here in the rail. Like, this corner probably should look a little closer to this, just to save on some polygons. Because it's, again, if the player is doing this, right, they're not going to stop to look at this corner. Also, this bar, if you're trying to be more realistic, this bar would be in the corner, because you would want to support where your points of stress are, not just random locations. And your points of stress would be anywhere where there's a curve, right? Not like this big open space here means that as soon as someone puts their hand down there, enough stress over time would cause that to bow. There's also usually a distance measurement. So if you've ever assembled a bookshelf that has an extra long shelf, you might notice that bookshelves start to do this in the middle because of how much weight they have underneath them. Ah, it's our friend again. That's because shelves usually have a distance that they're supposed to go before they have a support in them, which is why a lot of bookshelves have a weight limit. They'll tell you a shelf limit has, like, oh, this can hold 7.5 pounds. It's because that's the, given the distance of the board, that's how much it goes before it starts doing this. And it'll still do that over time if it doesn't have some sort of support. Okay. Alright, so we made it back to the maze room, which doesn't help us. We still need to find this godforsaken red key. But yeah, that's actually one thing that, like, one piece of advice I do give a lot of 3D artists as well is, like, learning, especially if you're going to be an environmental artist, like, just, like, it's paramount almost, is learning a lot of, like, knowledge about architecture and building and stuff, like construction, is very helpful, because the way a lot of stuff works in real life is how you would, in theory, build it in a virtual world, right? So like, if you're making a bookshelf in a game, you can understand, oh, the bookshelf is this big, this wide, this tall, because of these reasons, right? Like, that's the reason why they made it like this. Okay, this is where we got the yellow key. So... okay, see, here's the spiral staircase, or here's a spiral staircase. So... we can use that as a landmark. Alright, here's some stairs. We can also use this as a landmark. Alright, so these two doors go back to that spiral staircase. This door goes this way. I cannot see jack squat. Okay, those doors connect, which is nothing. What about this door? Okay, this door goes to a hallway and a room with a thing. But if you're doing a lot of environmental design, I highly recommend learning construction stuff, because if you're going to design, like, buildings for games and stuff, knowing architectural stuff can be really, really handy. Because you can actually learn things like how wide doors are, and how that, like, number has actually changed over time and why. You're not gonna put, like, the key in a ball pit, right? They wouldn't do that, right? Please. And you can also, like, understand, like, how tall an average... okay, so we've circled around, it looks like how tall an average door is, how deep an average window is, or an average wall, exterior wall, interior wall, right? So when you're putting together, you know, like, houses, or, you know, environments that are the interior of a house or whatever, you can just be like, oh, well, I know that. Or you just, you know, you could have a notebook that has that stuff. So if you don't, so if you're not good at, like, memorizing numbers, you can still just have a notebook that's a quick reference of, like, oh, I know how big a door is, I know how big this or that thing in a house normally is, and you could just work off of that. So it's really useful to have those things handy, because you can also use them as, like, a measurement. So if someone's like, hey, so I've got this, like, pictures of a house I need built or whatever, you can just be like, oh, well, I don't have any measurements for this house, but I know the average door is this tall, or average window is this wide, right? Like, or a double pane window is this wide. With that measurement, you can use that to measure everything else. Okay, so we've made it back to the red door, which does not help us. I might have to look up this red key. This is probably the only time I might have to look anything up for this game, because we have checked everywhere. If it's in one of the other rooms, that's really unfortunate, because it seems like every other key has been in this pastel area, but we have legitimately looked in all of these rooms, and they've all been on tables, which has been nice, because all I have to do is, at a glance, find a table. But I have not found... we found a room full of tables. It wasn't on there either. We keep finding this guy, Which, by the way, the red door is through that door. So, only this guy had it, right? Only this guy had it. Okay, yeah, we spent a lot of time. Where's my phone at? I guess I'll just Google it. Give me just a second. Red key, Playrooms, Dreamcore. Please don't play.
Okay.
I don't care. Okay. Ladder and bowl. Okay, yellow key, which... Okay, red door, yes. From the red door, go that way. Yep. The room with the stairs, okay. Spiral staircase. Oh, okay, that's not where that key is. That's not where that... That's not where that key is. That key is right here, of course. The key is literally right here. What do you mean the key is the key that he grabs is the yellow key. So it turns out the keys spawn in specific locations, but what key it is changes. So in his playthrough, this key is yellow. In our playthrough, it's red. Where our yellow key is, that's where his red was. Because the one he grabs for the red key is not that. Anyways, I didn't even need the walkthrough. I was literally 2 feet away from it. If I had just had faith in myself and kept looking, I would have found it. Man. Yeah. No, he literally walks over. Remember that dark table? But I was like, oh, there's a yellow key on that thing. And it was really hard to see. It was that. That's where his red key was. Where our yellow key was. So... Nope, I just had to have a little bit more faith in myself, and we would have had it. But yeah, no, it's... Yep, and then we go this way. See, there's a whole bunch of... I think this area changes. Okay. The sky room, yeah. Because this... We didn't even pass the blue door. Yeah. I think this area, like, changes or something. Alright, yeah, because no, when we walk through here, this is where the red door is. What do you mean this is where the sky room is? That's not where... That red led to the red door, unless this one leads to the red door. Does this lead to the red door? Oh. I just didn't go left. Anyways. We found it. Didn't even need the walkthrough. Alright. What the hell? I turn myself around. There we go. At what age did you stop playing with toys? You know, that's a good question. I didn't even think about that. What age did I stop playing with toys? That's what the achievement asks, by the way. I don't know. Probably, I don't know, probably sometime like, I would say early in middle school. Mainly because I played with video games more. Legos. Because I played with video games most of my life. It's just toys were what you did when you just didn't have access to like the computer or like to the TV or whatever. You haven't? Yeah. I guess it depends. Like if you still classify video games as toys, like in some ways they're still marketed as toys, then you know, then none of us that play video games technically have. But so playing with Barbies around middle school, then I got moved in with my aunt cousins, still play with Barbies occasionally. Yeah. I don't know, it's like I said, it's just like I feel like I transitioned like fully away from toys and around middle school into video games, and I just focused on video games because they were just a more interactive experience. But like when friends would come over and like the TV was like occupied or like computers were occupied, then we'd play with toys until we could play with the consoles or whatever. But eventually we got separate like TVs, and like there was a living room TV, and then we eventually had like a TV for like the consoles and you know, stuff like that, so it became less of a thing. Oh, do you get it? It's the suburbia houses but in Legos, because there's the water tower. That's cute. So they made the suburbia houses but in the Legos, because these are the fences. Nice. They were teen, so it was like rated R Barbies. Oh no. Not the rated R Barbies. Ah, and they put the generator under the water tower. That's funny. I like that. That's a nice callback to the earlier level. It was unhinged. Aren't we all a little unhinged? Alright. Just creating your own telenovelas. The soaps, the dramas, whatever people called them. Man, I remember these things. These magnet trains. I also remember these mats. You know, it was interesting. We talked about like nostalgia a little while back, and I think I've realized that like I don't think I would want to go back to being a kid. I think I would want to go back to the sense of wonderment, right? Just like enjoying things wholly and like completely the way I did when I was younger, like not having the stresses I do, I guess. I think is what I would like to go back to, where you could just focus on like, I just want to play a game, or I just, you know, just want to vibe and watch TV and cartoons, you know, like that stuff. But I don't think I would want to be a kid again. I mean, I would also not want to be, you know, dealing with all the medical stuff I'm dealing with. That would be nice, but I say as I start choking on my own spit. But like I appreciate the era of like the 90s and the 2000s. I think it was a cool era, but like it was also very problematic for a lot of reasons. Bouncy castle. Can't even jump in this. Whoa, I just phased through the... Can't even jump in this game. They put a bouncy castle? How rude. But... Oh, that's because that's the only way out. I don't think I'd ever want to actually go back. Like I miss part of the era, but I think a lot of it is just, I think, the stress-free nature of being younger. Okay, that's the way we came from. I think that's what I personally that I miss most. Because I don't know. My childhood was definitely not the worst, but it's certainly not the best. Had a lot of issues. And we're back. But yeah, I don't know. Lots of highs, lots of lows. That's the thing, is like I don't even know if I would count it as lots of highs. I think it was just moments of ignoring the lows, right? Yeah, oblivious to how the yeah, that's exactly where I was going. I think it was just ignoring the lows. Escape room. I think it means the room in which you escape, not a room in which you have to solve a puzzle to escape. At least let's hope not. Well, maybe not. But yeah, I was I unfortunately made the mistake of getting back into well, not really getting back into, but doing more reading. Hi, smiley face. Recently, and mostly through like quotes and stuff, and I read some quotes recently that like really just got in my head, and I was like, man, I did not need to be reading this. Not like it was like terrible, but like you know, when you read that stuff and you're like, yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing that messed me up. You know, that kind of stuff. It's one of those light bulb epiphany kinds of moments, I guess. Okay. Interesting. We definitely did that the exact same way, but for some reason it led to an exit. Thank you. Come back soon. Alright. I think, by the way, I think these floors are reference to someone like assembled a list of like backroom floors, and like the floor numbers consist to like the rooms. So like you have like the pool rooms, the play rooms, the, you know, and that's what this consists of. I think that's what this is. So like floor 188 is the play rooms kind of things. It's hard for me because, yeah, mom dying when I was 15 puts me in a weird place for childhood. Adolescents are fully ended at that time. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, there's always like weird events like that, right? Like where it's just like it segments like life. You have like it's like life up to this point, and then life after this point, and then life after this point, right? Like it's like chapters in a book, right? Like there's just it's just like you have these points in life. So all right, we escaped the playrooms, which he might leave just a few months after she passed. Yeah. All right, and that was the last of the Dreamcore things for now. There is one they said will be releasing in 2026. So don't know what that's gonna be. I would not be surprised if it's not like just the back rooms. That's kind of the only thing that they don't have here, but they could be designing their own one. There could be a bunch of them because I think there's just a bunch. Like I think there's hundreds of rooms things now that they could pull from. Life with, yeah, that segmented parts of life, but yeah. So I will say about this game, I think this is interesting. I don't think this game is gonna be for a lot of people, just because the added like puzzling, like having the goals, probably adds a level of frustration for people. It's not just so like the pool rooms is the closest of like just get to the end essentially, where the only thing you have to really do is find the flashlight, get to the end. Whereas a lot of the other ones you have to do like a bunch of tasks, like find the keys and get the doors, or like turn the power on, get through the, like Suburbia I guess is another one where you have to like get a key, go through a door, and then just get to the end. But so we patted out last time. Also specified saw the Black Lodge rooms from Twin Peaks. Oh yeah. Thank you, Wise Man. Hopefully you're doing well today. But we'll do a little bit of a review of this game after we're sure that everything's done. All right, I want to see what achievements we're missing out of curiosity. Okay, we're missing 4 achievements. Let's see what they are. Find a statue that lets you cross the threshold of consciousness. Interesting. Red pools. Not everything is white. Sometimes it's red. Okay, apparently there's that. Be careful with friend. If you're careless enough, friend will slip into your mind. Interesting. Has something to do with a smiley guy. And yes, now it's balloon. Okay, we saw the balloon, but it didn't give us any sort of achievement. So 2 of them have something to do with the smiley face, and then there's 2 that's there. So we got most of the achievements there. But that is the end of Dreamcore. As always, when we finish a game, I like to talk about the game from a mechanical standpoint, from a story standpoint, and from a overall standpoint. Mechanically, it's not a very deep mechanical game. It's mostly a exploration puzzle game. You walk around and you look for stuff, mostly keys. And then you there is a few just interact. You open stuff and you progress. The first pool rooms, you find a flashlight, and then you find the exit. Eternal Suburbia, you find a key, you find an exit, and then you go through a couple other areas where you find the exit. Playrooms is probably the longest one, at least it was for us, because you have to find 4 keys, go to 4 different areas, start 4 generators, then find the exit. And then the last one is the apartment, which is actually quite short, honestly. You just have to get down to the bottom floor using elevators, turn on the power, go back up to the top floor, take the elevator. And then you go through a few more areas and then get to the exit. So a lot of just exploration, finding the things, and then find the exit. It took us about 5 hours. Most of it was, honestly, 2 hours of that was, almost 2 hours of that was just the playrooms. So about 3 hours for everything else, which that's not too bad. Mechanically speaking, that's basically it. Story-wise, there's no story. It's a liminal space exploration game. So there's not really any story to be found here. If you like liminal spaces, it's a way to explore some of those. I will say, to kind of move into the overall, I kind of wish there was better ambiance. Some of the areas don't have any sound. Some of the areas have music that gets kind of annoying. Some of them has good music. Specifically, the apartment I think has like the best audio, especially when you get down to the lower floors. But yeah, some areas don't have audio. Some of areas have kind of annoying audio. Some have good audio. So it's kind of a mixture of audio. Again, mechanically speaking, it's not very deep. So if you're expecting something very deep out of this, this is also liminal horror in the traditional sense, not in the new sense of something's chasing you. So if you're not looking for scares or anything, I think that this is a good way to kind of explore liminal spaces. They are going to be doing something else. They're adding like one more area, it looks like, in 2026. So we'll probably be revisiting it then. This game costs, let's see. Normally it's $15. Currently on sale for $12. For 5 hours, I don't think it's too bad. That might be a little pricey for some people. I personally like liminal spaces without the monster chasing you down, trying to kill you kind of thing. It allows you to kind of focus on the space itself. There's a lot of homages to things in this game, which is nice to see. So it's both a liminal space, because there's actually, if you know about liminal spaces and you know about cinematography, you actually know that there's a lot of movies throughout history that use liminal spaces in cinematography. Movies like The Shining, movies like The Exorcist 3, movies and shows like Twin Peaks, The Twilight Zone. You know, stuff like that. Like, there's a lot of movies and shows throughout history that have used liminal spaces as a way to create uncomfortability, which is part of what originally what liminal horror was about, is about creating uncomfortability with these empty, wide-angle shot kind of things. So it was nice to see those homages within the game as well, to kind of harken back to what liminal horror was originally, before, you know, there's a monster coming after you trying to kill you in these liminal spaces. So if you're interested in some of that too, it is an interesting grab. I would say if you like liminal spaces, it's probably worth picking up. Maybe wait for a sale. I think $15 for kind of just walking around in liminal space might be a little bit expensive. But there will be 5 liminal spaces by the end of it, so it might be worth it by that point. But as it stands right now, might be a little expensive. But overall, that's kind of how I would say it. Recommended if you like liminal spaces, but maybe on a deal. So thanks so much for joining us for this playthrough and review of Dreamcore. If you like it, don't forget to hit the like button, leave us a comment, and also subscribe. And I will see you in the next playthrough. And